haven't been under this much light since the last time I was held by the authorities. It's good to be booked here at the Hideaway. I was booked last week down at the county in Martinez. They actually let me keep a souvenir. I'm actually planning on, I got invited to play in Vegas, and the agent says, would you mind playing in Vegas? And I said, well, actually, I'm kind of pissed at Vegas for false advertising. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Yeah, right. Last time I was in Vegas, I hired 2 hookers, got an STD. The hooker stayed. I took that STD with me everywhere I went. There's a whole lot of people pissed at Vegas now. Everything in Vegas is fake. You know, I'm at Rich Little's penthouse. I'm looking out at the Sunset Strip, and this guy says to me, oh, look, there's the Eiffel Tower. I've been to Paris. It's fake. I went to one of those topless shows. He goes, wow, look at those tits. I've been to the Bavarian Oktoberfest. Those are fake. And it's just, you know, it's weird, you know. I stayed over at Bally's, and outside Bally's is a place called Billy's Steakhouse, and there's a big marquee, and it says, Billy's Steakhouse, the best kept secret in Vegas. I've been there without my wife. Mitchell, anything you want to tell me? Oh yeah, Billy's Steakhouse. No one really knows about it. You know. But anyway, Pat thinks I drank a lot, which is kind of true. I mean, some people, when they have problems, they turn to religion, some turn to drinking. I've decided to drink religiously. But there's a reason for that. A lot of people know me, but a lot of you people don't know is that I'm actually the world's first test tube baby. This is true. My mother's a cold dish, and my father was a turkey baster. But if you've ever read anything on Facebook, you know that you have to count your blessings. And I'm kind of glad that my father isn't an eyedropper, in case that kind of thing's genetic. Because these things go around, and you know, test tube babies gone along the way, and now they're kind of using these, so I feel a little endowed. And you know, I did pretty well with this. You know, I'd go to school and people would call me a bastard child, and I'd have to correct them and say, no, I'm actually a bastard child. And I didn't know how this would affect me psychologically, if I'd be able to connect with people or what. And you know, I'd get sentimental about it around the holidays sometimes. Especially around Thanksgiving. What could be my father's laying in a drawer next to a potato peeler and a spatula. Anyway, I went over to a friend's house for Thanksgiving, and there was this woman, and she's squirting juices on this turkey. This right out of the bastard skin of this turkey, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I might have just seen my father have sex. And then I had my own sort of wet dream. I'm down this long corridor. At the end of the corridor is like these 2 hot babes in a hot tub, and I'm walking towards them, and as I get towards them, they kind of morph into just a sink of dirty dishes. And I thought I might have had like an Oedipus complex, because I still felt the urge to rinse them off and towel dry them slowly from the back. So I go to my neighbor's house, and I tell him about this dream, and after he said, don't ever fucking come to my house again, he tells me that I might be going through puberty. And he says you might want to have sex, but he warns me. He says, you know, don't masturbate, because they'll burn. So I go down to the mall, and I look at the people, and about 85% of them are wearing glasses, and some of the lenses are thicker than the others. I realize that there's 7 optometry stores and only 1 Foot Locker. I realized that people would rather masturbate for exercise than job. Then I got confused because I saw a person with bifocals, and I thought, what's that mean? You masturbate, you just don't finish? Yeah, almost. But again, it could have been worse. I could have walked into a 3D theater. You know, I mean, can't get off unless there's 2 of you. Or even worse than that, I could have walked into one of those 4D theaters where they actually spray liquids in your face. I mean, some of you may have had that experience. But anyway, so I realized that I'd have to start dating, and you know, nature dating is pretty easy. It's pretty much whoever smelled her first. I was watching the Animal Planet to try to learn about sex, and you know, I see these round bucking heads, and I'm thinking, oh, that's how it works. Whoever doesn't have a headache gets sex. Okay. I knew I had to come up with some pickup lines, so I down at the duck pond at Blackhawk, and I'm feeding the ducks. I'm looking at the exotic fish, and I'm thinking, well, how do fish pick up other fish? What do they say? Oh, don't be coy with me. You know you won't. And I tried that at a bar one time, and I got a free drink. Unfortunately, it was thrown in my face. But, you know, I did meet a gal, and she said we could be friends with benefits, so I immediately went down to the dental office, get this crown looked at. Someone suggested I do some speed dating, so I went down to Martinez, got some meth. But I realized I wanted to actually date women that had teeth. But I did get a date. I went out with this gal, and dating's expensive. I went out with this gal from Holland, which is great because we always went Dutch, so that kind of cut my bill in there. There's no guarantee that you know, you'll get laid, so I went with this gal from Australia because I figured chances were better that she'd go down under. Yeah, that's 3D portion ocean. And you know, life goes on. And, you know, you know, I'm older now, and I like younger women, and unfortunately, you know, young men like young women. And so you have all these alpha males competing for the same pool of women, and I'm an alpha male, but I'm on beta blockers, so I have to watch my blood pressure. So that's kind of tough. But I have a child now. I have actually a love child that sends me hate mail. He's actually a good kid. He, you know, when you have kids, you worry about them. You know, they could run out in the street. They could, you know, eat something poisonous. So I go to pick him up from a visit from his mom, and I tell him, you know, she puts him in the booster seat, and I tell him to hook up, and he wants to do it himself. He says, I'm a good hooker. I go, I know, you get that from your mother. I'm driving down the road, and this jerk, you know, is on my ass, and he comes around me, and he flips me off, and he beats me to the red light. And my son said, well, what's this? I said, well, I think he had a question. And that was great until the next day when I got a call from the principal's office, and my son had a question for his third grade teacher. Miss Adams? Hey, Miss Adams! So that was messed up. Anyway, you know, I don't really drink all that much, but I did drink a little too much. And I was dating this gal a little younger than me, and she tells me if she finds a gray hair down there, she's going to dump me. We're still friends, so I called her up and I said, I found one. And she thought that was disgusting, and I said, well, it wasn't mine. I woke up in a lawn in Rossmore, and I have no idea how it got there. So, anyway, I'm going to let the last ones go up. We have like 7 comedians here, so thanks for the opportunity. Appreciate it. Take care.
Mitch, make some noise!
Yeah! Sorry, Mitch, you come.